Sit back, relax, and join William and Lee on their journey through the strange and mysterious world.
Oh, welcome to Strange and Mysterious World. This is William and Lee for season 2, episode 2. And we are going to be dealing with the I Am movement.
Yes, so Anthea Torr, she heads up the I Am Ascended Masters group. I mean, actually, we'll talk to her now all about it. But it's all around the world, and she heads up the one in Cape. You know, I'm just going to let her speak for herself. So she's going to come on, and she's going to. For the documentary I'll be making, I've been talking to all these interesting people of like different spiritual movements and mystery schools and esoteric kind of philosophy things, and she was one of them, and she was just very interesting, and it's, you know, it all has to do with Saint Germain, and I'm just very excited to have her on here and to let her tell us all about her wonderful organization. I don't know what you would call it. We have to ask her what it is. The organization, is the movement, what is it?
Is it a religion?
Yeah, because
it's not a religious structure.
I did ask all these questions when I was interviewing on the documentary, but I've interviewing so many people I can't actually remember. It's all like it's all mixing up in my head,
becoming a blur.
Yeah. Anyway, so tell me, Lee, you've had some interesting stuff in your Celestium Sanctum.
Mm.
Well, let's just say, because the people are listening to this for the first time, this podcast, tell the audience what the Sanctum is and what's been happening to you.
All right. So the Celestial Sanctum, or as I like to call it, the Inner Sanctum, because that's where it's situated. It's actually situated inside your mind's eye, but it's a little bit more than that. It becomes like it's like the go-to place when you are wanting to do your meditations for whatever reason, for whether it's healing or what for whatever reason you would go to your inner sanctum to meditate. It just helps you focus. It helps you, it helps the meditation thing, and helps you reach the Akashic field a lot easier, if that makes any sense. So we've been doing. Obviously, William and I joined the Rosicrucian Order, and one of the things that they asked us to do.
And also, that's the Rosicrucian Order, because like about 3 people I've told, like I've been saying
the Hare Krishnas.
I've been studying the Rosicrucians. They say, "Oh, the Hare Krishnas," and I'm like, "No, it's the Rosicrucians." They're like, "Oh, yes, I know the Hare Krishnas," and I'm like, "No, it's Rosicrucian." Anyway,
tell them it's the Rose Cross. They might
not. Cross,
yeah. So. But anyway, so one of their things for the first couple of weeks, was to get yourself in a celestial sanctum and make it your own. So each individual person has their own kind of imagination and how to set things up, and whether it's in a temple, or whether it's out in the grass, or whether it's out in the woods, so you kind of make your own thing up. But it becomes more and more clear, and the more and more you meditate. So in my celestial sanctum, well, I'm not going to get into the whole detail of it. But as I was discussing with, when I phoned you a couple of days ago, yesterday, it's a lot has happened from when I first developed it in my mind's eye to what is happening now. You remember when I was telling you previously, when I was doing my celestial sanctum, when I was meditating, I'd have to leave my body where I'm sitting. So maybe it's in my room. I'd leave my body. I'd go through the roof. You'd see the roof of your house. You would then go up into the atmosphere. You could see the buildings below you, and then you go into space, and then from there, this is my celestial sanctum. This is where it is. Everybody's different. I would head off into space, and it's a couple of light years out where my celestial sanctum is. And then I would land. It's a Greek temple. It doesn't have a roof. And it's out in space. I can see everything. I can see all the stars. I can see the Milky Way. I can see the Eye Nebula. I can see all of that stuff. So, but even if you're in the sanctum, you can actually look up and you can see all those things. You can see through all the pillars. Now, for some reason, I don't need to do all of that. I can actually just cut from my room. I can actually cut a slice in the air, and it opens up, and I can actually see the celestial sanctum. So it's almost like splitting realities. If you cut a hole, or you cut a slice down, like you see sometimes in the sci-fi movies, where you see these guys are wanting to do they wanted to step through different dimensions. It's something like that, where it's like a blue light that cuts down, and I can actually see the celestial sanctum from my room. I just step through, then I'm there. Instead of having to go all the way in that whole process, which I understand it helps with the meditation and it helps with the focus when you're doing the whole long route. But now, because there's so much more going on in the sanctum, there's so many more different things to see and places to go, that my 15 minutes becomes almost too short now. I'm able to now get in straight away instead of having to wait like 8 minutes of managing to get there. If that makes any sense. So it's slowly but surely, it's advancing. It's becoming more and more advanced as I'm going.
Yeah, sure. I mean, there's this one, when I go to the Rosicrucian temple and I speak to this one guy that's quite, I mean, he's been, a Rosicrucian for many years and quite highly advanced. And I mean, what he tells me about his celestial sanctum, what he sees and like how vivid it is. And he says, it's just unbelievable. Like, he says he even like takes classes like in the sanctum, like he can get information and he can like, it's like almost like, he was saying like Harry Potter, it's like it makes Harry Potter looks like silly because he goes into like classrooms and it's like I think it's like a form of like lucid dreaming or something. But yeah, so it's quite interesting like what you're going through, that yours is actually getting more kind of vivid and so I'm really excited to see how it goes, man.
Yeah, and then, the thing from there, you almost get lost when you're meditating because you almost forget that you're actually on Earth. Does it make sense? Am I making sense?
Yeah, sure.
So it's not, you're not like seeing this thing and then you're still thinking that you're sitting, you almost, you've kind of forgotten that you're on Earth and you're now in the sanctum. You're looking around you. That's why it's important to take notes of the details of the sanctum. So it gets you away from where you're sitting, where you're meditating. So as soon as your mind is concentrating on something else, it forgets where you are. And you're focusing on this specific thing. You're focusing on the floors. You're focusing on the walls. You're focusing on the pillars. You're focusing on whatever it is that's in your sanctum. So it gets you more attuned to that place.
Yeah.
So yeah,
sure.
It's actually been pretty cool. It's been pretty cool. I've been doing that every night. I think I missed one night, but every night so far. And I'm actually doing it with the Muse headband.
Oh, okay, great. Anyway, Anthea's waiting for us to let her in.
Let's go, Anthea.
Okay, cool. Here we go. Hey, Anthea. How's it
Hi.
going?
How are you? Good? Yeah. And thanks. And you?
Good, thanks.
Good.
Are you in your bus?
Yes.
What bus?
It looks cozy there, man.
It is. It's a good home.
Great, man.
So what bus?
So-
Do you travel around in a bus? Do you live in a bus? What's the story?
Yeah, I do. I live in a bus for many years.
Okay. That's actually pretty cool.
It is. It suits what I have to do in life. So it's really good. Yeah.
Okay. So what is it that you do, Anthea?
I travel around running these workshops, free workshops
The I Am workshops.
Yeah, that's all according to the Ascended Master teachings. Yeah.
Okay.
On the I Am.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that sounds very interesting. Tell us before you actually, explain what the I Am thing is, and then tell us how you got there. What was your journey to get to this, to the I Am movement?
Okay. Well, so the I Am is in every one of us. So we don't have life without our own individualized I Am presence, which is our God presence within. It beats our hearts and allows us to think, move around, feel, and do everything actually. So, and it's always been like that. So it actually comes from the original Father, Mother God in the universe we're in, which is Alpha and Omega. So that's where the name I Am, because it's actually a name. It's actually, and it was planned, obviously many, many hundreds of years ago, these teachings. But, even if you go back to the time of Moses, when he asked the burning bush, who's speaking?
Actually, sorry, Anthea, can I just interrupt you there for a second? Because what was funny, Lee, was when I met Anthea, because I asked her if I could interview her. And I'd started reading the Bible again because I'm trying to read 3 pages a day, because if you read 3 pages a day, you'll finish the Bible in a year. So busy reading the Bible. So I meet Anthea and like I'm interviewing her for my documentary, and she's telling me about I Am and everything. And that night I go home and I get to the page where it's about Moses and he's talking to the burning bush, and it says, he's like, well, what must I tell the people who you are? And then God speaks to him and says, tell them I am. And I was like, whoa, how's that for a synchronicity or coincidence? Like I've just been with Anthea with the I Am movement, and I'm at home reading the Bible, and it comes up God saying I am. So I thought that was quite a neat synchronicity or whatever you want to call it.
That's cool.
Sorry, Andy, you carry on. Yeah, so
Moses, yeah. So the burning bush said, I am that I am, and that is my sacred name. And he said, go and tell the Israelites, I am sent you. So we know there from that context that it is a name. And then the next one we had was Jesus. So he came and he prefaced all his famous statements with I am. And so we knew that I am, but then that was completely, unfortunately, misunderstood, misinterpreted, or whatever you want to say. There was some kind of sinister force that got in there, and they made it out that he was the only son of God, which he never ever said he was. You know, yeah. So you know, the thing is, you can't even call it a movement. You can't call it anything, because it's just simply who we are. And every time we say I am, we're using the great energy of the I am presence above us, and in our hearts as well. That's where the anchorage of our I am presence is. And we create. So that's, and we have free will. So we either create using that pure divine essence, either for good or bad. And so we've been so duped, really. We've been so misled, mainly by the religions, making us think that we have to follow somebody else and that somebody else is going to save us. Well, it's just simply not possible, because the law is whatever we sow, we reap. So it's not possible for someone else to save us. You just have to think a little bit and you'll realize that that's not possible. Yeah.
Okay.
So these teachings now that the Ascended Masters have brought in are really for the next 2,000 years. So every 2,000 years, there's a set of teachings designed for humanity according to the consciousness of the time. So at the time of Moses, it was a pretty low time. Even at the time when Jesus came in, the consciousness of the people, the mass of the people, was low. Now it's a bit higher. And so they've actually released all the information. There's nothing hidden anymore. So we don't have to go and decipher the Bhagavad Gita, or like William's doing the Bible and all that kind of stuff and parables. We've got it on a platter, simple, so even children can understand. But we need to understand there's laws, universal laws that govern our lives. And if we don't obey the laws, we have these rocky lives, these rocky roads. Yeah. Okay. So that's basically, and also Saint Germain is now the one in charge. So we had Moses just in recent history, because we know our earth is millions of years old. But if we take the time of Moses, we had Buddha coming in between Moses and Jesus. Then we have Jesus, we had Muhammad. They're all way showers, bringing us an aspect of the law. And now we have Saint Germain. He is now in charge for the next 2,000 years. Yeah. The great God of, yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, because we chatted about Saint Germain a couple of podcasts ago, myself and William. Look, we don't know a hell of a lot about him, but does he reincarnate, or does he, you remember Highlander, the movie? He lived for hundreds of years, but he had to keep moving to different places because people realized he wasn't getting old, and he was having to get new bank accounts.
Yeah,
and
immortal.
Like an immortal, yeah. So is he immortal, or is he a reincarnation?
No, he's an ascended master now, so he can appear however he feels like, because the elemental kingdom will respond exactly to his thoughts and feelings. He can appear as a whore, which he did in front of Peter Mount Chester, for instance, in the 1930s, because he tests people. He was there at the signing of the Declaration of Independence, because it was a really important time. So he's very, very involved at the moment. So he can appear whenever he needs to and disappear. And because he has that power, because he's in that rate of, that vibrational frequency of ascension. And that's, all of us have to get there. Immortality is our divine birthright, and we all have to get there. But see, this is where the Christian thing went so wrong, is because they think that we can't do what Jesus did. Jesus clearly said to us, what I have done, you will do, and greater things still.
Well, he said that to Peter at the boat when he was walking on the water. He said to Peter, come join me. And he was no, he says, but you can do what I do, so come. But then, so he believed a bit, but then he sank.
But the thing is about it, people don't realize that we have the same power within us, so the power of the I am, to transfigure, resurrect, and ascend these physical earthly bodies. We shouldn't be aging and all that. We shouldn't. Because the power of the light within us can overcome all the misinformation or the misuse of life, which actually reflects in our physical bodies. Yeah.
I think that was the original sin, wasn't it?
Well, I mean, the original sin is turning away from the great God presence.
But isn't that also what makes us age and why we die and all the rest of it, because of the original
Yes,
sin?
of course, because it's just misuse of life, 100%.
Yeah.
So because we don't learn those laws that govern our lives, literally.
Yeah, because I think the guys got it wrong where they think they ate an apple. It wasn't actually an apple. It was something a lot deeper. And that's the reason why it was original sin, was there was never an apple. It was never about an apple.
I think it was just because it was about a tree.
Yeah.
So it was
tree of life.
Symbolic. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So how did you get there? So how, I mean, your young life, I'm assuming you weren't always in this path. So what was how did you start? What was the journey?
No, I wasn't on this path. In fact, I think they kept me well away, the Ascended Masters, because I know I was told that I've been trained to do what I do for lifetimes. I think we all trained, but I wasn't. I was quite a wild child as a youngster. After my father passed, actually, I had a serious sort of desire. I had a spiritual kind of awakening, and I was searching everywhere. I searched. I had a library of books. I had a wealthy husband at the time who was super generous and never, worried about me ordering all these books. But I never found anything I want. And then one day I just had a random email. It was quite extraordinary. It was about 2008. And it didn't say, "Dear Anthea," or "Love anybody." It just said, "You should read Unveiled Mysteries," which is the first book of these two major dispensations which have come forth for humanity now. And these teachings did not come through a channel. They weren't written by any, like the time of Jesus, they were written by the disciples. They were still unascended. So they're just remembering what Jesus said and his stories. This time it came through a visible, literally onto the dining room table in Chicago came this shaft of light. And Saint Germain spoke through it. It was a light and sound ray, and the people in the room could hear him. And they wrote down. But he already agreed with Guy Ballard at the time to bring these teachings in. He had been working with Guy Ballard for thousands of years. Yeah. So it's not sort of like, doesn't just happen in a quick time. It's well planned. Yeah. And now we're in a very, very critical time. That's why we've got such great changes happening on our planet, because we're in this, what's called the cosmic in-breath. So all the planets in our solar system, our universe, and in all universes and galaxies around are all rising in vibration. The planets are getting closer to their suns. The suns are getting closer to the central suns, and everything is rising in vibration. So that also means the life evolving on the planet needs to also rise to the same degree. But this is where there's such a sense of urgency, because we are way behind on planet Earth. And Saint Germain has brought us the understanding, because it's really an understanding, more like a feeling, really, of the I am within, because that's the true, because it responds instantly to us. It's part of us. And also the use of the violet flame, which is one of the mighty major 7 rays on this planet. I mean, it was a time when the Earth was going to be dissolved. And most importantly is also to understand that a great, great being from Venus came and actually saved this planet. And he's known as Ancient of Days in Daniel in the Old Testament. It's actually Sanat Kumara. And he held this planet in its orbital position for 4.5 million years, emitting this light and love, which the Earth people should have been doing. And that he is just a major, major being of light. But he's actually in incarnation at the moment. He's in Indonesia, but he's also told us that he has to go back to Venus this year, 2024.
Okay.
So I think 2024 is going to be really a tipping point for many, many things that are happening on the planet.
Sorry, you said that all planets are rising in vibration, and that we are behind, like we're a bunch of slackers or something. So what is holding us behind? Why are we slacking? Why are we a bunch of slackers? What's happening?
Lack of understanding.
Because we just don't obey. There's constantly wars, selfishness, greed, poverty, all those things which we should never be, and all those, fear. Fear is a huge one. So when we have a real, true trust in the I am presence within, we fear nothing because
So
we know.
what's been holding us back? Why are we the ones that are like in this fear state all the time?
Yeah, but because, William, I think we basically created this kind of cocoon of like density. And so the high vibrations, the true wisdom from the I am presence can't actually enter. So we don't understand these laws that govern our lives. We don't understand the use of light. We have the ability through the power of our I am presence to literally project billions of light rays. And there's so many things that we can actually do. But we also have to get out of the consciousness of the old kind of 3D consciousness. They say one of the greatest things that holds us back is selfishness and claiming ownership of anything. Yeah.
I think I think the most important thing is, in the old days, people, we kind of carried on with life, and life was as it is. You just carried on. But nowadays, more and more people are awakening to the fact that there's something else happening, something else going on. And they're searching, exactly as you said. People are searching for the answers to their lives or to the meaning of it and to whatever else is happening in this world. And it's chaotic currently. That's because the people are all over the place. They don't know where to go. And I think that's why it's important where we're doing these type of things, these type of podcasts. You get to a couple, 300, 400, 500 people here, and then there's other people doing it. And eventually the information gets out to the people where more and more will start investigating those type of things and thinking, okay, this is what these guys are talking about. Is it true? Let me go and investigate. And they start doing their own stuff. That is important. That's why this stuff is important, because if we didn't have these type of things, people would be running around like headless chickens all over the world, because no one knows, no one's got the information. So this one says that one, this one's saying that one.
But also the problem is it does make us like headless chickens, because now we've got all this information and all this on, and we have to have such discernment to know what is actually the real thing and what is not the real thing. And I think
absolutely. And we affect the collective consciousness. Every thought and feeling, word or action affects the collective consciousness. So that's why you need like an anchor. So that's what the Ascended Masters have really brought to us, is the anchor. And we can't rely on anybody else to anchor us. We have to anchor ourselves. And so the anchor is really our own I am presence. Because as soon as you have that anchorage, as soon as you have that understanding that within you is this mighty presence, and you hand things over to it. I mean, I always hand everything over to my own presence first thing in the morning. And we also always get together every morning, as you know, William, when we do Zoom together, and we get into the sanctuary twice a week. We've been going since 2009. And we never miss. We never miss a beat, because it's that important. Yeah.
I must say, when I went into that your sanctuary where you have your things that morning, it's really beautiful, and it's got a lovely energy, and it's aesthetically beautiful, and the people that were there were very lovely. So I do look forward to coming back there. But yeah, it was a very wonderful experience. So thank you for that.
I think your sanctuary man brought you there, definitely. Yeah, because Sanctuary Man, he needs us. He needs us on this earth. But, we also have to be very, very discerning, just as you said, William, because there's loads of these new age people. And yes, it's good, because there are a lot of people who are, getting awakened by different things. But some of them are channeling from the psychic and astral realms. And really, they often just actually are distractions, because unless they're turning you back to your own God presence, unless they're giving you the tools to set yourself free, instead of just information about, this is happening, that's happening, and kind of all this phenomena, because humanity is really addicted to phenomena. What's new, what's exciting, what's happening, instead of actually settling down and doing the inner work, transmuting the karma of lifetimes. So this is what the Ascended Masters have brought to us. It's the opposite of phenomena. It's actually hard work. It's hard work. It's dedication. It's nothing about, all the the sort of things that a lot of the new ages are following. Yeah.
Okay.
Self-reflection.
Before we get into what we have to do,
It's more than self-reflection. It's more than that. It requires, an understanding of the tools, the methods that they've given us to actually become Ascended Masters and doing it. Yeah.
Okay, well, before I want to ask what we have to do to all of that, but before that, I want to ask, why was the planet going to be dissolved, and how come it got stopped? What stopped it from being dissolved?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, beloved Sanat Kumara came 4.5 million years ago. They began to dissolve it, and it wouldn't have been the first planet to be dissolved.
But why
If,
were they
if
going to
the
dissolve it?
law is such that when you receive, you must give. Otherwise, there's an imbalance in the universe. So we were receiving this light from the central sun, from our own sun, but we were not giving back. We were not emitting light, because the light is created by the beings living on the planet, not the planet itself. The planet itself is elemental life, which responds to the consciousness of the people living on the planet. So that's why you have Venus so brilliant, because the beings living on Venus are so highly evolved. They don't have any wars or any selfishness or any poverty or any death or anything like that, any fear. They are way above all that. And that's what we've got in our go. So we've got these extraordinary teachings now, which teach us exactly how to do it. But you have to read the books and you have to learn how to do it. But it's not difficult. It's not like onerous. It's actually fascinating and amazing. And you start getting the feeling, and it's such a powerful feeling of divine love from the Ascended Masters and from your own I Am Presence, that it becomes so addictive. All you want to do is actually do the work to assist your own I Am Presence down here, because we are the aspect of our I Am Presence down here. We are doing the bidding for our presence and actually helping to, bring our earth into her freedom.
I was going to say, then you obviously travel, you do travel around South Africa?
Not just in South Africa. I run workshops around the world.
Okay.
Continually. And it's mainly on donations. I'm going to America at the beginning of June. Someone just sends me a ticket, and the Ascended Masters organize it, I can tell you. They just set it up. And so I'm going there, and I've got a month in Australia, in America, running workshops every weekend, and one in Canada in between. And then I come back, and literally within 10 days, I go across to Australia. And I've got 2 months in Australia. And then I come back, and there's another one set up in South Africa, and it's ongoing.
So you're quite busy.
It's very extremely busy. I am.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, it is. It's absolutely amazing. And, it's confirmation that, and I'm always trying to better it and do better, because I'm also very humble in the fact that I know that I can't do anything. I myself, like the famous statement of Jesus, I myself can do nothing, is 100% true. So I always call it the I Am Presence, because it's the presence acting within me. And we all have the same ability. None of us have any less ability than Jesus. That's why he said, you will do as I do and greater things still. But we have to wake up now and not expect other people to save us.
And then how long are your workshops? So, if you're going...
They're 2 days. So they're free workshops. I do, obviously, if possible, get donations for people that can afford it.
Yeah.
But never, if people can't afford it, they come regardless. There's never it's not about commerce. 2 days. And sometimes I'll go and give talks just for an hour. Mm-hmm. It's just ongoing things. Yeah.
Okay. And so you started off with what was the original book you said you started?
Unveiled Mysteries. So on the website, there's a very comprehensive website. It's iamfree.co.za. It's a South African website, actually, but it's got the books are all there free online. Some of the organizations in America and what have you, they were very unhappy that we put these books on for free, but they belong to the world. Well, so we've had a bit of a thing there, but it doesn't matter. There's audiobooks, there's everything. There's loads of YouTubes. There's loads and loads of things. And careful, well sort of documented where to begin and what have you, because it might be overwhelming to start.
Well, that's pretty cool. So if somebody wants to get hold of you, they can go to that website.
Yeah, I am free. And the email is there. Absolutely. There's a contact button at the bottom. 100%. Okay. Yeah.
I want to tell you something that happened to me on Sunday. So I'd gone through to the Pavilion. Pavilion's one of the shopping centers here in Durban, in case you don't know. I was traveling in an elevator, and there was a guy that was running Boom Books, the Christian bookstore. Okay. Yeah. And he said to me, yes, we are so busy. So I thought, well, that's actually pretty cool, because no one really reads books anymore. They go online and they download the stuff. And he says, we are selling the Zulu Bibles like hotcakes. And I'm thinking, You shouldn't be selling Bibles. It's God's word. Why are you selling it? That there should be given to people as like what the Muslim tradition, the Quran, is never bought. You cannot buy a Quran. The Quran is actually given to you to read because that's come from God. My opinion on this, you should never be selling a Bible. The Bible should be given as a guidance and a tool to get to where you need to go, for those that believe in, obviously, for those that are Christians and whatever. So I'm heavily against selling those books.
Yeah, I think, Lee, that it's there's no harm in charging for the printing, but there should be no added cost to it.
Yeah,
because sometimes listen, we also have to always kind of weigh it up as well, because they might have done a load of good like that, and even though it's never meant to be charged for, and there is, I mean, the sacred books should always be free, and you can get them online for free. But to actually print it, unfortunately, we still live in this wacky world where you have to pay for things.
Yeah, look, I agree with that. But like I said, the Muslims, and I work with Muslims. My whole company is owned by Muslims. Never once. I mean, one of the guys came and gave me a Quran and said, yeah, go and read that. There was never, hey, pay me or go. You won't even, if you go to any shop, you won't find a Quran on sale ever.
Yeah,
and they've got to get it printed. They've got to have the same sort of thing. They've got to go through the whole printing process.
I think they work through donations, and it would be marvelous if the Christians, and a lot of the Christian churches do that as well. But we also know, so that the Quran, the Torah, the Vedas, the Bible, they're actually all obsolete because so much was being given for now. So that's why I say to William, read these books. Don't read the obsolete ones. But I don't think he listened to me.
No, you didn't listen, William, because you're still reading 3 pages of the Bible a day.
3 pages a day. I said to him, and I got a clear thing. I was sitting a minute and he's got to read the first book that Saint Germain, there's the Unveiled Mysteries and the Magic Presence, which are just awesome, but they're online for free and in audio. You can go onto that website and download them on audio and the ebooks. But then the first book of Discourses, which is just brilliant. In fact, Saint Germain has said to us that every problem that humanity has is actually solved in that book.
Discourse.
It's so brilliant and so simple. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's interesting information. I'll definitely be reading those.
So, when are you doing another workshop in Cape Town, or Johannesburg, or wherever?
So the next workshop in Joburg will probably be in September, because I'm away, William. But I tell you what I'm doing right now, which is amazing, and I'm getting quite a lot of watches on YouTube. Well, I'm quite a lot, not that many, but I'm doing an online course.
Okay.
It's actually the 5th one I've done, but this time I'm doing it like a 2-hour session instead of a 1-hour session. I used to do 12 1-hour sessions, but now I'm doing 6 2-hour sessions. This Thursday we're in number 3. And it's 2 hours, yeah. So that's really helpful. I get a really good feedback from that.
Okay.
So people don't have to come to a physical workshop. They can go on and listen to the YouTube, and it goes just like that, so quick.
Well, I mean, I really admire what you're doing, and also that you're doing it for free, and your drive and your passion and everything is just really, truly amazing. Also, what I really admire as well is that because you are doing the work, and like, I mean, I remember when I was interviewing you wanted to get back like at a certain time because you do all of your decrees and your meditations or whatever. You had to get home. You takes like 2 hours or something, and you do that every day. And I know you go to the sanctuary every morning and you do that. So, and I was quite impressed because I meet a lot of spiritual people that say they're on a spiritual path or whatever. And then I always just ask them, I say like, well, do you meditate every day? And then they don't meditate or do any rituals or any like breath work. They go, yeah, like one, now and then, like once a day. And I know it's judgmental for me, but I can't take anybody seriously if they say they're on a spiritual path and they don't do any kind of inner work or something like on a daily basis, like I'm just like, okay, well, you're not serious. It's just like an image thing. But I was really impressed with that because she wanted to get home to do 2 hours of her decrees and her things, whatever she was doing. I was like, wow, that's cool. She's on it. She's
the thing about it, William,
got a mission.
We've been trained by the Ascended Masters for years. And when you call it, because we need the light. So we've been trained through the decrees. And, in the Old Testament decree thing, it shall be established unto thee. So when we call in a light, those light rays goes out. And so if we're not doing it daily, the light rises because like attracts like. It goes back to source. So our daily decrees are absolutely essential. We've been doing it since 2009. I wouldn't miss it for the world.
Are you in contact with the Ascended Masters?
We're constantly in contact with them. We certainly listen. They don't come here. They're nothing about phenomena. They don't necessarily come down. They won't sort of manifest and sit next to me and so I can see them, but I can feel the radiation very strongly. We have had in our sanctuary, we've had like a messenger, no question, and other ones that are kind of also very connected. They get their inner sight opened and they only give us things that we need. They don't feed us just to keep us going. If we need something, if they need to just, to explain something, because we had a very important mission, actually, our Good Hope Sanctuary. And it's all to do with release of value-backed currency to the world. And so it was quite a specific kind of mission, and we're still very involved with it. And also just calling for the light. So we never miss a day. We're on Zoom every single morning and twice a week. I'm not there very often, but the rest of the Chilas, which is a student in Sanskrit by the word Chilas, but the Ascended Masters call us Chilas, are Wednesdays and Fridays, they're in the sanctuary. So it's very, very, it's just we're driven. We're driven to help the planet because we've been trained,
And like, is there any like kind of, without having to go into an hour course or whatever, but something that you can leave us with what we should be doing, or like some kind of like practice we can do, or like, I don't know, like a meditation, a ritual, or like, is it something that you
Something to get started.
It's not going to an hour course.
Go see my
go to the
course, man.
website, go to the website, go to the YouTube channel. I am free.
Listen, but you don't leave it all into quick fixes. You see, right now, listen, there's not a quick fix, but I'll tell you what you can do. And you can go onto the website, all right? And if you go onto resources at the top, and you'll scroll down and you'll see essential daily applications. And there you've got a set of decrees, which are so quick. They take like I think it's 12, max 15 minutes. And then also a suggested meditation by Saint Germain. So that might take half an hour in the morning. It might take 20 minutes at night. But if you think of the time that we waste making coffee, chatting to the mates, all those irrelevant things that are actually not going to save us. They're not. We need the light now. We need to move swiftly forward with our planet because she is going into the cosmic in-breath. We're still all here. She's not dissolved. So it's so worth disciplining ourselves just to spend a little bit of holy time. Yeah.
Yeah, that's also interesting because like, I meditate every day and I also do breath work every day and a whole bunch of other stuff. But the thing is that I always thought of it as like it was like exercising a muscle, like you have to go to gym and, you can't just go to gym once a week because nothing will happen. That's why you got to do it like daily or whatever. And then I was speaking to someone and I thought it was so interesting because they said that the reason why you have to do it every day is because of the moon. The energy goes to the moon and like the moon moves, obviously, while the moon's moving every 2.5 days, the amount that it's moved, it's taken so much energy. So like you while you're meditating or you're doing breath work or your rituals or your decrees or whatever, you're building up a certain amount of vibration. And then when the moon's moving, it's like taking that vibration away. So every 2.5 days, you've got to like bring the vibration. So if you miss 2.5 days, it's like your vibration's like really low. I mean, I'm not saying that's true.
And it's like, what?
I thought it was quite interesting. that kind of thing.
The moon is the body of Lenara. Neptune and Lenara are the great beings in charge of the elemental kingdom. They govern, and the reason that the moon is there to assist with flow and the outflow of the tides, truly. And the only reason, so whoever told you that, William, I mean, it might be good because it kept you online, but because I always look for the good in everything, but I can't actually go along with that. But
okay, so that's a load of bullshit.
Well, But the other thing, William, is you need to make sure that you're doing the right breath work, because there's a lot of breath work. I did so many different types of breath work, but until you are consciously doing the breath work that the Ascended Masters have given us, where you breathe in, you absorb the light, you expand it, and you project it out to bless all life. You know, it's a very simple breath, and that's how the Ascended Masters breathe and what have you. I think I must give you a little lesson on how to do breath work, William.
Okay, I look forward to that. Can we do it now online?
And also the meditation. Saint Germain gave us a very, very simple, brilliant meditation of bringing in the light and becoming the light, because we need light down here. That's what we really need. We need a lot of light, because the light changes people's consciousness, literally. And the light will literally, you know, it can, through the use of the violet flame. And, you know, we probably, I don't know how much time we've got, but if we can do one where we focus on Saint Germain and his violet flame, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Also, just quickly, just so the audience know, who are all the Ascended Masters that you're talking about, the Ascended Masters?
All of them. There are hundreds of thousands of Ascended Masters on every planet. So there are beings that have done their ascension. So they're beings that walked the earth as we have done, or we are doing now, and through the same application of these very same teachings that they brought to us through these books, they have become master over energy and vibration. So in other words, they master their mental and emotional bodies, because it's our mental and emotional bodies that have been really holding us bondage for eons of time. So when we get to learn to not to allow our emotional body to go wild and reign in that mental body, so it doesn't keep jabbering in our ear, we can't do this, we can't do that, or we want to gossip, or we want to do all these things which are low vibration, unacceptable. We start to become, we raise the frequency, literally, of our bodies. It's like an airplane propeller. It spins so fast you can't see it. So that's why the Ascended Masters, we can't see them, but they are these ascended beings. So it's a rate of vibration, and it's pure light. It's shadowless light.
So yeah. Saint Germain's one of them, and then is there like another five that you could?
There's many Ascended Masters. I mean, typical one, obviously, Lord Gautama. You know, he's actually no longer the planetary Buddha. He's the great Lord of the world. The planetary Buddha has been taken over by Lord Maitreya now. So a Buddha is a being that actually brings high teachings and organizes them in such a way that the like people like us in a lower frequency can understand them. That's the office of a Buddha, because it's actually yeah.
Okay, it's okay. So let's get started. Meditation. So what do we do? So what do the guys start when they're breathing? What's it in for 4, out for 5? How's it go? I'm assuming you got to imagine that there's light coming in when you're breathing in.
So you use a statement which you're going to say inwardly. So it's because you can't talk and breathe at the same time, right? But you always start your statements with I am, because your I am presence is actually an action. Okay. So you just say, for example, I'm in-breathing the blue flame of faith from beloved Archangel Michael. So you breathe it in, you say it inwardly. Then you say, I am absorbing the blue flame of faith from Archangel Michael. Then you say, I am expanding, and you literally breathe it out as you breathe out. So you in-breathe, you hold, all very equidistant. It must be very, very square-like. You breathe it out, and you literally expand and so your entire body becomes this, and your 4 earthly bodies become this blazing crystal blue flame, which is filled with a feeling of faith. And then you say, I am projecting, as you hold the breath out. And then literally you can see billions of these light rays going forth, because light is conscious and intelligent. It'll seek out all those in need of faith.
So it's like box breathing. So you breathe in, you hold, and then you breathe out, and then you hold, and then you breathe in and you hold. Is it like that? You say,
but you must use and I'll send you some information on it. If you go to the website and you go to Ascension Topics, okay, at the top, and you'll scroll down, you see loads of little boxes, and you'll see the rhythmic breath of life. It's so simple, but it's how we create, because it's an unselfish breath, and it's consciously done because all the statements are prefaced with I am. It's our own I am presence in action. You'll see, you'll become very hot, because light makes you hot.
Yeah,
like it does. The flame makes you hot. Yeah.
William, I'll send you lots of light, dude.
Yeah.
Anyway, so as you go to the iamfree.co.za website, go to the Ascension topic, scroll down to the Rhythmic Breath of Life, and listen and to the YouTubes on it. Very simple. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. We shall do
Right.
that. Yeah, awesome, man.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for.
And also meditation there. There's loads of things there. Loads.
Right. No, that's awesome. Yeah, Anthea, thanks, man, for your time, and I wish
No,
you
thank you.
wish you best of luck. And yeah, obviously the guys, if anybody needs to get hold of you, they can go to that website.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me on.
No,
We should
thanks,
do
man.
another one on Saint Germain, huh? Because we
Sorry?
didn't really.
What's that?
We should do another one on Saint Germain and actually who he was and what he's brought. And there's just so much of the use of light. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, well, I thought you were going to do that now.
No, we can do one on Saint Germain. That's cool, because this is like an intro into.
Okay,
into-
great.
Yeah.
But it's probably it's not too good to be too long with these things. People
Yes,
don't like to.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. Great. So the next one on Saint Germain. Great.
Yeah,
Anthea?
Anthea, thanks a lot.
Thank you. Wonderful work you're doing.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Well, thanks, Anthea. We'll see you soon. We'll definitely get it back for the discussion on Saint Germain. 100%. I'll link it up in the show notes for the people that want to go onto the website and kind of have a look. Perhaps even the YouTube. I'll link the YouTube link as well, so if people want to go and do the online courses. That's actually, we can do that for them.
Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
Thank you, man. We'll chat to you guys. Well, yeah, we'll chat next week Tuesday, or perhaps Saint Germain. Let's see if we can get on that. But yeah, otherwise, let's see how it goes. But otherwise, we'll chat again next week. See you guys then. Have a good one. Thanks, Will.
Cool. Thanks, Steve. Cheers, man.